All right guys, on this training, you're gonna hear exactly why sellers say no to your offer. All right, so if you aren't hearing no a lot, you're simply not doing it right. There is an incredible book out there called Go for No. But before I even get to great salesmanship books and other trainings that could help you in sales, the number one foundational key to getting a deal is simply making an offer. I can tell you right now, out of the hundreds of students that I have worked with, they always have one problem. They don't make enough offers. And then they say they are not getting enough deals. It's a simple math equation. You gotta make an offer to get the deal. That is the number one reason you aren't getting enough offers, is because that is the number one reason you are not getting enough deals, is you aren't making enough offers. Now, let's get to why the seller is actually saying no to your offer. There are four main criteria of why they don't want to do business with you. The first is exactly that. They don't want to do business with you. There is something you said or did throughout this entire process that was incongruent with what you were saying or said you could do from the beginning. They didn't get a good feeling in their stomach. They felt a little weird about it. You said something off color. Something happened that they don't want to do business with you. People only want to do business with people they like. In desperate situations, sure, anyone will do business with anybody when they are desperate. However, the majority of the people you are going to be talking to are not in a desperate situation, so you need to make sure they like you. You need to make sure you're a chameleon. And if you've not seen my training regarding personality traits and color personality traits specifically, make sure to watch this training. Now, if you are liking what I'm saying, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and any questions beyond this, make sure you write them in the comments below. Now, with that said, I'll tell you the number two reason why sellers do not accept your offer is because they simply don't understand the process. They are confused. They don't actually know what comes next. They are actually thinking to themselves, man, this seems like this is gonna be a big deal. Like, how do I do this? They have too many questions going on in their mind. How do I open escrow? Do I have to call my bank? Do I have to ask them for a payoff? How does that all happen? All of those questions are going on in their mind, and it's simply because you did not inform them and make sure that they understand the exact process that is going to take place. The number three reason why they don't actually accept your offer is simply because they don't understand the paperwork. Now, I keep my paperwork relatively simple. It is only a couple pages long, but even then, I make sure to go through that paperwork with a fine-tooth comb to make sure they understand all of the terms of this offer and how it all works. While I do the paperwork, I'm also reiterating how the whole process is gonna come about and how essentially they aren't gonna have to do anything once we come to an agreement here. And lastly, and most obvious, price. People simply are making offers that are too low relative to how the seller or the price that the seller wants to be selling at. It's just a reality. We need to be able to make an offer that a number works for us, and they want a number that puts as much money in their pocket. So it's bound to happen. But there are ways to make that offer more acceptable than simply just giving an offer and hoping that it'll work for them. So the first most important way that that offer can be most acceptable is do what is called anchoring. A number that is too low, but simply blow by it like you know that the number is too low and you know they won't accept it. So before I actually handwrite this offer out, I might say something like this. You know, Mr. Seller, in this neighborhood, I'll buy homes, anywhere from $120,000 to $130,000. I know that number is not going to work for you. And I pause, just like I did right there. And the reason why I'm pausing is I'm hoping to get some feedback on what number they're expecting. A lot of times when I make that anchor and blow by it, I don't offer 120 or 130. I kind of move past that. It sets them really low and it allows them a lot of times to laugh. Oh, I would never sell my home for less than $200,000. All of a sudden, that game of the person who speaks first and gives up the number first loses. Well, essentially I just won. But the reality is you want to make this a win-win situation. You want to put enough money in their pocket that they feel good about it, as well as you need a deep enough discount so that you can make some money as an investment. The second way to make that offer number more tolerable will be to ask this one specific question. Besides price, Mr. Seller, what is the most important thing regarding selling your home to you? Now, I ask that question because it takes price out of it and I really get to do a deep dive in what's really important to them. If I can focus on what's important to them, then my number maybe being a little lower than they initially want really is gonna allow me to go and offer a number that's lower than they want, but provide massive value to what's really important to them. So again, it's really important that you understand why people are saying no to your offers. First of all, let's rewind and make sure you're making these offers. I can promise you this, if you're just over the phone telling someone how much you would make for your offer, in my opinion, that's not a real offer. You're just spouting out a number. You actually have to be physically giving them an offer, sending them a DocuSign or putting it in the mail for God's sakes, and making sure that they have something to open. Why that is so important is simply because you get a starting point to continue your conversations, even if they say no. Now, as I mentioned before, we're gonna get to some good books that you should be studying about negotiations and tactics such as that. And before that, I wanna make sure you understand salesmanship and negotiating is a skill and you have to continue to practice it. I simply study sales for the last 17 years since I graduated college. I graduated UCLA and actually opened my own sales company, as a matter of fact, and since then, I've been studying sales to the point where I'm even hiring further sales coaching, reading books, joining masterminds or otherwise, because I want to always involve myself in further perfecting my salesmanship. So 2 good books that I'm gonna refer to you guys out of the gates is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss and Go for No. I can't remember the author for Go for No. However, it's an incredible book and it gets you the psychological understanding of why you are actually gonna go for a no rather than a yes. And again, I actually like the no first so I can have a starting point. That's also why I anchor the way I do, is because I wanna get that awkward, well, how low is your offer gonna come in? I want that out of the way. So if I can anchor low, kind of breeze by it, I now can get a starting point where they don't have to feel like I'm gonna lowball them, even though I still might not be at the price that they're gonna accept it. So at the end of all of this, guys, I want you to understand you, the person you are, how you communicate, and how you actually handle the communication with them ultimately is everything, right? The emotional intelligence is another way of saying this. Understanding and reading who the other person is on the other side of that conversation and being a chameleon and really being able to adapt to who they are and what their needs are is why you will get more yeses than nos. So it always starts with you, but then fundamentally you have 4 reasons why they're not gonna take it, right? 1, you. Secondly, the paperwork. 3rd, the process. And 4th, the price. And if you can solve all that and you can figure out what their value is, you will simply get more contracts signed. I hope this finds you guys well. If you like this video, hit the like button, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys at the next training.